everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about all the books that I want to read in April. To be honest, I actually had a hard time narrowing what book I wanted to read in April because I couldn't really get the vibe down. I didn't know what I was in the mood for. Usually I could like narrow down like, oh, I'm in like a romance mood, or I want something that's like really lighthearted, or I don't know, I want thrillers or something like that. Like I usually have an era that I'm going towards each month, and this month I genuinely had no idea. And I feel like March was such a good reading month. I read 8 books and all of them were 4 or 5 stars except for one book. So the stakes, not even the stakes, the expectations that I will have a good reading month this month is really high. And so I just like got nervous with all the books that I wanted to pick. So I kind of just like pulled some random ones, and I don't think any of this is cohesive, but I don't think it matters. It's just a TBR. The first 2 books I'm going to talk about, I know I'm definitely going to read because I got the Libby audiobook for it, and something that I've been really enjoying is playing the audiobook and having the book physically with me. I've always comprehend the plot a little bit better on audiobook, but having the words in front of me makes it so much more engaging, and I am just so much more invested when I read this way, and so I've really been enjoying it. And because I have the audiobooks, I'm definitely gonna go this route for these 2 books. First off, I have Alone with You in the Ether. Yes, this was in my March TBR, but I'm bringing it back because I finally got the audiobook for it. I tried to start it in March, but I just was not in the mood for it. This month for sure, because the audiobook is going to expire. I got this book at a bookstore just because I've heard so much about Olivia Blake, and every single thing I've heard have always been positive. I've never heard a bad review about this book. And this is like a romance book, but she does a lot of like fantasy or like paranormal romance and kind of things like that. I have Atlas and the Six, which is a fantasy book that I really want to read from her, but I wanted to get started with this book just because I'm not a big fantasy reader and I want to know her storytelling and her writing first. So I'm diving in with this one. I can't really explain the plot. I feel like this is more of like a character-driven book based on like everything that I've heard, based on like the back that I've read. It is about 2 characters who are opposites, and she is very like to-do list, organized, needs things like certain written down, and he is a go with the flow, very chill, relaxed kind of guy, and they meet and they fall in love, but they have conversations with strangers that could really alter their relationship and change like the whole entire path of how they connect. So I'm really excited to dive into this just because I don't really know what I'm getting myself into, but I think that just makes it all the more fun. Next up, we have Mickey Shakes It Up. I actually just got sent this book. I've been wanting to read it for a long time, and the audiobook came and I was like, oh yeah, I'll read it. And then the publisher sent me a physical copy of this book, and I was like, oh my gosh, guys, perfect timing because I was about to read it anyways, which I'm so excited. And I love annotating. I've suddenly been a big fan of like highlighting and writing things down, so super excited for this. Similarly to the last book, Alone with You in the Ether, this is also another Opposites Attract. This is about Mickey and Diego. Mickey is an expert in analyzing modern literature, but at 33 she feels a little bit lost in life, and she's also drowning in medical bills and a lot of payments from her chronic illness. And so she decides to pick up a bartending gig just to spice up her life, bring some more entertainment in, something fun, a new hobby, a new job, and also some money so she can pay off her bills. Except she's never done this thing before. She doesn't know how to bartender. She doesn't really know what to do. And Diego owns a bar, but his bar is kind of going downhill, and so he is looking to spice it up and just get the community back together in his bar. And so they connect so he can teach her how to bartender and she'll work at his bar, and they might even fall in love. So I'm so excited to read that. I feel like it is the perfect like summer book. Not just even like the color is so summery and bright. I feel like this romance is like very spring and then like get me into the mood for summer. Do you know what I mean? Anyways, a book I'm also adding into my April TBR is As Good as Dead. This is the final book in the Good Girls Guide series. I read the beginning of this series like a year or 2 ago. I think it was 2022, and I read the second book as well, and then I just never touched the 3rd book. I was waiting for it to come out in paperback, and it did last year. Or like, was it last year? Yeah, I think it was last year, like in January. And then I just like never read it. So I think it's been on my TBR or on my shelf for too long. I really just want to wrap up this series because in July of this year, the first book is becoming a movie. And so I just want to finish this series and like read it all, because once it comes out in a movie, I kind of get like unmotivated to read the book because I know I can just watch the show or something like that. So I'm excited to wrap up and close this chapter of The Good Girls Guide. I'm actually like really scared about this because something I loved within the first 2 books is Ravi and Pip, or Pipe. I don't know how to say her name, but I've always said Pipe in my head. I love their romance and how they've gotten together and like the very subtle hints of their relationships, or like when they're flirting and things like that, comes in the book. But I heard this one, they're not really in a relationship. Like it takes a back burner. And I'm gonna miss that because I really do love Ravi. Like he is everything to me. Max makes a return, like he is suing her. She gets a stalker because of like the things she's done in the past, like opening up investigations, and she has her true crime podcast now, and that stalker and a local serial killer are somehow connected and they're out to get her. I heard she's very unhinged in this one. I saw a TikTok, I remember when it first came out, that someone was like, girl, where are your parents? Aren't you 19? And I'm kind of like, ooh, I'm scared. I'm scared about what's gonna happen to her. Next book, I have Feel the Fire. I actually am like, I don't know what you would say, 70% of the way through. I'm right here. I'm almost done with this book, and I really do want to read more from the Addicted series and the Calloway Sisters series. I personally think the Calloway Sisters series is a little bit more entertaining just because there's no buildup, like they're just already together and they're just working through as a friendship group, as a family, as couples. You just kind of get to know them a little bit better. There's no buildup to the relationship, like will they get together, will there be a third act breakup? Like, you know, they're not, because the Calloway sisters, they're already established, they're married, they have kids, and you're just kind of holding hands with them as they walk through different scenarios in life. So I really like that about the Calloway Sisters series, and I want to read more from it, but I've been stuck on this book for like a year and I just can't get past through it. And I feel like I could definitely just like DNF it and then like move on to the next book, but I do love Rose and Connor. I just don't know what's going on with this book. I think it's like the secrecy and like they have to lie to the paparazzi. It just feels very out of character for Rose and Connor, because they are definitely people who like don't care what the media has to say about them. And so the fact that they're like faking and doing all these like outrageous things that don't match who they are, I'm kind of thrown off by it. But I think if I push through a little bit more, I will find out why they're doing those things. But I'm adding this to my TBR because I just want to finish it so I can move on to the next book, which is Reich and Daisy, and then I want to read the final epilogue novel, which is Some Kind of Perfect, where it closes the chapter on all 6 of them. But the series never ends, because don't they have like spin-offs for like their kids and then a spin-off for their like grandkids, and it's just like a universe that just never ends? I don't know if that's true, but I definitely know there's like a series for their kids. Anyways, I'm excited to read that because I truly love Connor and Rose, and hopefully I can push through what it is that I was struggling through with last year. Last book on my TBR is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This book is not out yet, but I have book of the month, and so I got to pick this one early. I'm excited to read this. I finished Yours Truly last month in March, and I really liked Abby Jimenez writing, her storytelling. It was very emotional and very heartwarming and heart-wrenching, and so hopefully I can also find that within this book, because I thought it was just so intriguing to read. She writes very lovable characters and you just want to give them a hug. So in Yours Truly, the characters were just so lovable and I wanted to give them a hug, and Jacob was such like the perfect book boyfriend. I want to read this because the title, Just for the Summer, and I just want to like be back into that world again of Abby Jimenez, where I'm just so like emotionally invested in the book. The inside of this says 4 dates, a kiss, and a breakup. That's all it will take to find their soulmate. So I think the plot of this is actually really cute. It's about Emma and Justin, and they think they are like cursed when it comes to like dating and relationships, because every single person that they date and they break up, like that, their partner that they were just dating ends up finding their true love and their soulmate, and so they're left single, and the person they just dated is now like deeply in love with someone else. Emma has always thought she was like cursed. She's just like, I just bring everyone to their soulmate after breaking up with me, until she meets this guy on Reddit named Justin, and he also shared the same like similar experiences, and so they come up with a plan to date each other so they can break out of this curse that they've written up in their heads. They end up falling for more, and a relationship relationship forms, and I'm just so excited to read about it. It seems very fun, and I think the plot is just so entertaining, so I'm excited to dive more into this. But those are the 5 books I have in my TBR. I know this video might be a little bit short, so comment down below what other books I should read in April. I don't really have a vibe. I'm open to any kind of suggestion, so let me know down below. But also let me know if you guys are excited for these books, because I know it's a small selection, but I'm genuinely really intrigued in it, so I think that matters the most. But still open to suggestions regardless, so let me know what I should read. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoy, and comment down what other videos you want to see from me as well, because I am feeling a little bit stuck. I feel like I'm just recording vlogs and book videos, but I want to spice it up. Let me know what you guys want to see from me, and I will deliver. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!